Have you ever felt like people only show up in your life when they want something from you? Have you ever pushed aside your own plans, your rest, your sleep, even your inner peace, just to help someone who disappears the moment they get what they need? I know that feeling. And if you have ever felt it too, then this story is meant for you. Because sometimes the hardest lessons in life do not come from enemies. They come from the people we care about the most. I grew up in a quiet little town. It was surrounded by long green fields and old, peaceful houses that seemed frozen in time. Everyone knew everyone, and everyone knew me. If a bicycle chain snapped, they called my name. If someone needed help carrying heavy boxes, they knocked on my door. If a lonely soul needed someone to listen, they walked straight to my house. I never refused. I always smiled and said the same words. Of course I'll help. I truly believed that helping others made me a better man. I believed kindness was my purpose, and people praised me for it. They called me reliable. They called me good-hearted. They called me the kind of person everyone could count on. What I did not realize was that little by little, my life stopped being mine. My garden stayed half-cleaned. My windows cracked and stayed broken. My roof needed repairs, but I kept postponing them. My own problems kept piling up, quietly waiting for my attention. But instead of facing them, I ran through town, fixing everyone else's life. Every single day. Every single request. Each night, I came home exhausted. My clothes were dirty. My body was sore. My mind was empty. Not peaceful empty, but drained. My mother watched me with tired eyes one evening and softly asked, "James, my dear boy, you help everyone, but why does no one ever help you?" I gave her the same small smile I always gave. "It's okay, Mom," I said. "One day people will remember my kindness." But that day never came. One evening the sky turned dark without warning. Heavy clouds rolled in, and strong winds began to howl through the town. A storm was coming. People rushed outside trying to protect their gardens, their tools, their belongings. I ran too, but not toward my own home. I ran straight to help my friend Lucas. His equipment was still lying outside, exposed to the coming storm. We worked fast. We covered his tools with cloth. We carried heavy items into the shed. We did everything we could. But while I was saving his things, mine were still outside. My garden furniture stood unprotected. My plants were uncovered. My wooden boxes were wide open. And then the storm hit. Rain poured down like it had no mercy. The wind tore through the town. By the time I finally reached my home, it was too late. Almost everything in my garden was destroyed. I sat down on the front steps, rain dripping from my face, staring at the muddy ruin that used to be my peaceful space, my safe place. My mother came out quietly. She placed a warm towel on my shoulders and said in a calm, gentle voice, "James, today you saved everyone's things, except your own." I said nothing, but inside me something finally cracked. The next morning, exhausted and confused, I walked to the edge of town. I went to see Mr. Jake, a wise, retired teacher who lived alone in a small cottage by the river. I sat beside him and spoke honestly. "Sir, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I help everyone, but I feel empty. I feel tired. Not from work, but from people." I paused. "Why does it feel like kindness is breaking me?" Mr. Jake looked at the slow-moving river and said calmly, "James, look at this river. It gives water to trees, birds, animals, and farms. It serves everything around it." Then he turned to me and asked, But when the rain becomes too much and the river forgets its limits, what happens? I thought for a moment. It floods, I said. It destroys everything. He nodded. Exactly. Kindness, without boundaries, becomes self-destruction.
He looked at me with gentle seriousness. You are kind, James, but you have no limits. You run everywhere for everyone and nowhere for yourself. Then he said the words that stayed with me. You think saying no is wrong, but sometimes saying no is the most honest form of self-care. I listened as he continued. For the next 7 days, do not say yes immediately. When someone asks for help, pause. Ask yourself this. Will helping them harm me? Will I lose time, peace, or energy that I need for myself? If the answer is yes, he said softly, then say, not today. He looked at me and smiled. Try this, James, and watch what happens. The next morning felt different. Not louder, not easier, just clearer. Around midday, Lucas rushed toward me, his voice urgent. James, please help me move a heavy box. I really need you. I looked at him. Then I looked at my own broken fence. The same fence that had been waiting for repair for months. The same fence I kept ignoring while fixing everyone else's problems. My heart wanted to say yes. That old reflex was still there. But then I remembered Mr. Jake's words. I took a slow breath, and for the first time, I chose myself. Lucas, I'm sorry, I said calmly. Today I need to fix my own fence. I can help you another time, but not today. He stared at me like he had never seen me before. You're saying no? He asked. You never say no. I nodded quietly. Lucas walked away, clearly upset. And yes, I felt a small sting of guilt, but I stayed where I was. I didn't chase him. I didn't explain myself again. I focused. A few hours later, the fence that had been broken for months finally stood strong, solid, finished, and something unexpected happened inside me. For the first time in a long while, I felt proud, not praised by others, proud of myself. The next day, 2 neighbors came by, small requests, carrying shopping bags, fixing a chair, simple things I would usually drop everything for. This time, I politely declined. I explained that I was busy with my own work. That evening, instead of feeling drained and used, I felt light, calm, at peace. A quiet stillness settled in my chest, the kind I hadn't felt in years. On the 4th day, the sky turned gray again. Heavy rain began to fall, and then I noticed it. My roof was leaking. I stood there listening to the rain, almost expecting a knock on the door, like all the times I showed up for others. But no one came, not one person. For a moment, I could have felt angry, but instead, I felt something new, strength. I picked up my tools and climbed up to fix the roof myself. It wasn't easy. It took time. It took patience. But when I finished, I sat beneath that repaired roof and whispered quietly, so this is what it feels like, to depend on myself. Days passed, then weeks, and slowly I became a different man. I stopped running the moment someone called my name. I stopped trading my sleep and my peace for people who never truly cared. I began waking up early. I took care of my garden. I cleaned my house. I invested time in myself. And then something surprising happened. People started respecting me. Lucas began solving his own problems instead of relying on me. Neighbors stopped calling for every little thing. The town stayed friendly, but no one treated me like a tool they could use whenever they wanted. My house looked better. My garden grew beautifully. My face looked fresher. And for the first time in years, I laughed without feeling exhausted. I was no longer the man who was always available for everyone. I became the man who valued himself. One afternoon, Mr. Jake came to visit. He looked around at the healthy plants, the neat yard, and the quiet smile on my face. He asked softly, "So, James, did the world fall apart when you stopped saying yes to everyone?" I smiled. "No, sir," I said. "If anything, my world finally started coming together." He nodded with a gentle smile. "When you stopped saying yes to everyone," he said, "you finally said yes to yourself. And that is when life begins to change. So tell me, my friend, are you like I was? Do you give too much? Do you say yes even when it hurts? Remember this. Saying no does not make you selfish. It makes you strong. It means you choose peace over pressure. Your time matters. Your mind matters. Your heart matters. Protect them, because the world will only respect you when you start respecting yourself first.